Hey guys, and welcome back to my series of learning how to cook. Today we are finally making some chicken cordon bleu. This recipe really scares me, but it was highly suggested by one person in particular, so I thought, why not give it a try? I started off by cutting all that yucky fat off, and I did buy a thin sliced chicken breast to make this easier from the beginning. But there were two that were still just a little bit thick, so I covered them in some parchment paper and pounded those until they were thin enough. Then for spices, we used onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and paprika. Then I just made sure they were all evenly coated. I flipped them around and did those same spices on the other side. Then it was time for the hard part, so I got some toothpicks out, used a piece of ham and some Swiss cheese, and started rolling them. And this was definitely the hardest part, which is what I suspected, but it was just not staying together. The cheese was breaking. I did have to restart, and I definitely should have left more room on the ends of the chicken to make it a little bit easier. But once I got it all rolled, I just stuck some toothpicks in there and hoped that it would stay together. Then I just started the same process with this second chicken. Again, I shouldn't have put the cheese that far towards the end, but it was not cooperating. I had to fold it, and I needed to seal a little bit better, and you guys were in the way, so there's the back of my head for a second. But then again, once I got it rolled the best that I could, I just stuck some toothpicks in it and hoped it would stay together. This little short chicken definitely gave me the hardest time just because there was so much filling and not really enough chicken to roll, but I eventually got the best I can even though there's cheese and ham sticking out, but you know what, it's fine. Then for the breading, we had flour, eggs, and breadcrumbs, and I fully coated the chicken in all those while trying not to impale my fingers with those toothpicks sticking out. But then I put those on a pan that was lined with parchment paper, and I did the same process to all the other chickens as well. Then when I took the toothpicks out, I did end up having to re-roll that little one that was giving me a hard time, but I didn't have much hope for that one anyways. Now I was going all out and making the sauce for the chicken cordon bleu as well, so I started by melting some butter and adding some flour in and whisking that together. Once it got a little bit thicker, I then added some milk and whisked all of that together. For flavor, I added some Dijon mustard, which I didn't measure out, but it was supposed to be about 2 tablespoons. And then I just added some Parmesan cheese and whisked all of that together, and also pepper and salt. This is what the chickens looked like after I took them out of the oven. That little one did fall apart, which I suspected, but that's okay. The other ones look pretty good. Then we just poured some of that sauce over top, and this is the final result. I'm pretty proud of myself for this one. This definitely was not easy to make, but it was easier than I thought it was going to be. This is definitely my favorite thing I've learned to cook so far.